All right, just back from TD Garden. Celtics beat the Mavericks. Jayson Tatum is back. And wanted to jump back on to expand on the video I put up earlier. And just to talk about what we saw on Friday night from Jayson Tatum and what that means for the Celtics for the rest of the season. Because I think it's really intriguing to think about where this team can go now that Tatum is back in the lineup. First on Tatum. That's about as good as you can expect from Jayson Tatum in his first game back in nearly 300 days. Being around the team before the game, talking to some players, coaches, staffers, whatnot, like there was definitely some uncertainty about what they were going to get from Tatum in his first game back. It's a tough injury to come back from. And even though everybody has been saying he looks great in practice, he's been doing all the right things, he's been checking all the right boxes, you just don't know until you get into a 5-on-5 competition on an NBA floor. And I got the same messaging from Drew Hanlon, who is the longtime trainer of Jayson Tatum. He was just telling me, we got to see him back out there in live action. We got to see how he looks once these shots start to fall. So there was definitely some intrigue in what Jayson Tatum is going to look like. And having a game like that, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 27 minutes of play. That's an A-plus kind of game for Jayson Tatum. I mean, coming off an injury like this, to come back in mid-March or early March, that's an impressive performance. Now, this wasn't the Jayson Tatum that we saw last year. The explosiveness is obviously not there. You saw that with the dunk attempt that was muffed by the rim. You saw the alley-oop that went nowhere. Defensively, I think he's got a long way to go before he gets that lateral quickness back. But you saw that the shot is still there. You saw the playmaking, the ball handling is still there. And most impressively to me, he didn't force anything. Like early in the game, he was facilitating. He had 7 assists in this game. He very easily could have had 10 or 11. Like he was that good at moving the basketball. That's a sign of maturity from Jayson Tatum. That's a great sign for the Celtics that you have a guy that over the last 8 years has shown he can take over a game offensively, being willing to be a facilitator for this team, to get other guys opportunities, to take a step back when it comes to scoring with this team. So that was really impressive. I thought it was a great game from Jayson Tatum. And you have to wonder after watching a game like that, what does this mean for Boston? Like, how far can they go now with this group? I mean, I was among the people, and I've said this a couple of times. I didn't believe the Celtics would be anywhere near where they are right now. I thought this would be a gap year. You saw the way they cleaved their roster in the offseason, removing big-time veterans, Holiday, Horford, Porzingis, Tatum's gone. I thought this would be a 500-type team and maybe one that sunk all the way into the lottery. They have not been that from day one. Jaylen Brown is a legit MVP candidate. Keita is a most improved candidate. Derek White has been a fringy all-star. Peyton Pritchard, same thing. Like, they've just gotten contributions from everywhere. You know, the second-tier guys, Baylor Shimerman has stepped up. Ugo Gonzalez, I think, is going to be a real player. Jordan Walsh has come in and given them good defensive minutes. Like, they've just got a whole bunch of guys that can play. And now you add an MVP candidate to the mix. And no, it's not the MVP candidate from last year. But you've still got a guy that's a bucket that in his first game back gave you 15 points. What's he going to look like in his 5th game back or his 10th game back? You've got 19 games now with Jayson Tatum to, polish him up a little bit, get his conditioning back, get his timing back, sharpen some of those edges. That's a long time. That is a long time to get this guy back to somewhere close to being what he used to be. And if you look at the landscape, Detroit is the class of the Eastern Conference. There's no doubt about that. Cade Cunningham, awesome. Jalen Duren, awesome. They are physical. They are the bad boys 2.0. But we know their lack of shooting, and plenty of people have wondered if that's going to cost them in the playoffs. The Knicks, a little bit uneven this year, but they've been playing good basketball as of late. Brunson, Towns, Anunoby, great players. And let's not forget, this is largely the same team that beat Boston in the second round of the playoffs last year. And that series win, had nothing to do with the injury for Jayson Tatum. So there are threats out there in the East. But would you take this version of the Celtics, or would you bet against this version of the Celtics against any of those teams? Detroit still lacks that experience Boston has. The Knicks, they won the playoff series last year, but they were getting They got battered in the regular season matchups. Not that that means anything. The playoffs are what matter. But it's not like the Knicks are a class above the Celtics. I think if Jayson Tatum can get himself to like 90%, 85, 90% of what he once was, this team's going to be formidable. Like, Jaylen Brown is better than what he was last year. He is a legit first-team All-NBA guy. He is a legit MVP candidate. He's averaging the most shots in the NBA this season. Like, he's been incredible. So now you got Brown. You got Tatum working his way back. You got Joe Mazzulla, who's been a wizard on the bench. You've got championship-level players. Still a bunch of guys that were on that championship team from 2 years ago. Still in that locker room. Still part of that lineup. You got to give them a great chance to win. And look, I'd make any team that comes out of the East a underdog against whatever team comes out of the West. But you also have to take into account that whoever comes out of the West is going to have to go through an absolute gauntlet from the first round on. Every one of these series for these Western Conference contenders is going to be tough. There's going to be no gimmies, no first-round walkovers. And when they get to the conference semifinals, war. Conference finals, bloody war. Just an absolute slugfest between, these the two teams that come out of it. So I just think that if any of those teams is shop-worn going into the finals and the Celtics come in fresher, then they've got a shot. You've got Tatum and Brown. You've got a shot. So I was really impressed with what I saw from the Celtics. Tatum could not have had, I think, a better season debut. And now we'll see. They've got a tough road trip coming up. Cleveland, Oklahoma City, San Antonio on that trip. We'll see how they look against those top teams and reevaluate there. But a great start for the Jayson Tatum return and a lot of optimism within the Celtics.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.